Wow. So I had just been searching for things that I personally felt were missing in my healing process, and I wasn't healing, and things were getting worse and worse. And come about 10 months into the really, really terrible part, we just were ready to find something that would hopefully be more productive and was more conducive to how our bodies work. And that's what I'd been looking for. And no matter how much I looked, I couldn't find a practitioner or a program that did that. And so I just kept looking. And then finally, a friend sent me something about dysautonomia. And I thought, oh, I've looked into so many things. I'm done. Like, I'm done looking into stuff. I'm good. But something just told me that I needed to listen to it. And it was a great interview and it was really powerful. It had checked so many things that so many other people couldn't give me answers to. You know, I'd gone to neurologist and endocrinologist and specialist and pot therapy specialist and every herbalist and every naturopath. And I would ask certain questions and they'd be like, it's just what's happening, you know? And it was so frustrating. And so I looked up that episode, I watched it, and it was just, this is what I'm supposed to do. And it felt right. So, oh, it's so painful to go over that. Um, I was everything, and I'll try to list it really quickly, but I was hypoglycemic. I'd eat every hour, hour and a half, which meant my husband had to cook food constantly and bring me food constantly. And some of the practitioners I'd been with had said, you know, make sure it's organic, make sure it, you know, all of these things. So he had to prepare special meals constantly. And I had 7 children, so he was taking care of all of them and me. He couldn't work, which was just crazy. I was in a wheelchair. I had a severe adrenal fatigue, so I couldn't brush my own hair. I couldn't get a drink of water on my own. I never left the bed. It was exciting when I could possibly take a bath once a week, and my husband would get me to the bathtub. But then I was so sensitive to temperature, my thyroid just couldn't handle anything, and so that was very stressful for me, even to bathe. I had severe and anxiety and depression, especially in the mornings. It just, I don't know what would happen at the time. I had no idea what was happening, but not anxiety like, oh, I might be a little uncomfortable. It was jump out of bed, panic attack, and then, oh my gosh, like I need to eat or I need to do something. I don't know what I need to do, but I feel like I'm gonna peel my skin off. You know, just this crazy. And this how wasn't how I was. This was such a dramatic thing that I think because it was so dramatic, it helped me go, okay, something is going to get fixed here, because this is so different from my normal. And I had numbness and tingling through my whole body, severe tremors, kind of the tremors where I would twitch, you know, my head would twitch, my hands would twitch, my legs, like kind of like before you would fall asleep. Really weird. I had severe insomnia for the first full month of March 2023. I didn't sleep, not even 1 hour, not 15 minutes. My mind raced nonstop. I noticed I wasn't blinking and my eyes became so dry and painful. And I started going blind in my right eye. Mostly I lost like 75% of my vision. And then I started in my left eye and I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I couldn't listen to anything, couldn't watch a movie, couldn't look at a screen. I couldn't have someone talk to me. My daughter came in, she was 15 at the time, and she tried to play some piano music to calm me. And I couldn't. It was like my brain, it was so painful to try to follow the notes. So I just had to lay every day, every hour of the day and night, completely alone, staring at a ceiling or my eyes shut. I would lay for hours with my eyes shut, begging for sleep, and it never came. And it was just the most torturous time. Tinnitus. I mean, I was completely disabled. I mean, the noise sensitivity, the light sensitivity, we had to block. I wanted to be outside so bad. I'm from the islands. I'm from Oahu, and I wanted to be outside, and I couldn't handle the sunlight. My husband had wheeled me out one time with sunglasses on and all this protection, and just the sun touching my skin drained my body so badly I couldn't even talk. And getting me to a hospital to go to all these appointments and doing all these tests and taking all this blood was just, I couldn't even handle the vibrations in the car. I mean, it was everything that I never knew could happen. I mean, I'd never heard of anything like this. And then every doctor would just stare at me. You know, these weren't conventional issues that you see in a 38-year-old young woman who was active. I was very active. I played sports. I worked out. I'd had 7 children, but I was, you know, vibrant, and just all of these things came on within 30 days, you know. some of the nutrient deficiencies had obviously happened over years before, but this had all just happened really quickly, and no one had answers. They just wanted to give me more and more drugs and throw more diagnoses at me. Um, Multiple sclerosis and lupus were a lot of the main ones because I have it in my family in several different places. And it was just, this is how your life is. This is the way it's going to be. And that was just really hard to hear, but there's just something in me that was like, no, that's not how it's going to be. I was pretty set on joining the program, but from what I had heard, I think I'm going to do, the soups and this diet as best as I can. So I started that about a week before. And then I started the program. And so it was about 1 to 3 weeks, where I immediately noticed the anxiety was at least 50% reduced. I mean, this was something that every single morning, these panic attacks, my poor husband had to deal with this. He had to, take care of me, take care of all these kids. And I have had family members that have committed suicide. So that's not something that I take lightly or anything. And I would just talk to myself for hours going, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to take my life. And I would do it for hours, and I would cry, and I would just beg, for the strength to get through one more day. And my poor husband, was doing that. And then just 1 to 2 weeks into this program, and that was almost completely gone. And it was amazing. It was just, and I'd learned about neurotransmitters, and I'd learned about, the serotonin and the dopamine and the GABA and all these things and how they affect everything. And I was still amazed at how just 1 to 2 weeks already such a drastic improvement. And then my sleep just improved. By week 3, I was going, oh my gosh, because I couldn't even take sleep medication. Doctors tried to put me on, all these other medications, Xanax and all these things my body was freaking out so badly. And I had adverse reactions. I had the opposite, would happen. I'd get worse. No sleep medication would work. No herbs would work. And just being in the program and doing the things that the program laid out, I was noticing was it taking me 4 hours to fall asleep? And I was sleeping more than 3 hours a night. And I mean, that alone was just incredible for the first couple of weeks. And so getting through that really helped me to look back and go, oh my goodness, if this is how it is the first couple of weeks, I mean, this is just going to keep getting better and better. And it did. Everything just kept improving. Absolutely not. I mean, this had gone on for a year, and I had so many issues years before, and there was just no way. I mean, my body had been through so much damage, and kidney damage, liver damage. I had one doctor that did my testing, and right after he said, I don't want to take you on as a client, because when I do, I have to report, clients that I've lost, and I just don't want that on my record because my test came back so bad. He's like, there's no way that you should be able to bounce back from this. Just all my mineral levels, everything was so bad. And so to have seen how terribly, I hate to say anything negative about my body, but how terribly it was functioning. It was just, I was amazed that I could breathe. That was one of the issues that I'd had was I would forget to breathe, and my whole body, I would be laying there and all of a sudden I'd be like, I mean, that's how weak and nutrient deficient and damaged my body was, that even breathing was hard. And so to go from that to it's just so incredible that I was able to brush my hair and take a shower and make my own food and take care of my babies and come on this and do this interview. So no, I would have never guessed that this would have been a possibility. So I'm a little bit about me first is I wasn't the typical person that would start the program. I had a homestead. I homeschooled all my kids. I researched everything. I educated myself significantly. I studied, all of Dr. Lee's work. I had herbal nutrition. I was in the middle of getting my master herbalist degree. So I had a lot of information, and I had a lot to work with. I made my own, cheese and kefir and yogurt and milked my cows and ate fresh chicken. And so I had all of this, and I had knowledge of so much, and yet I was still where I was. And that was so shocking to me. I was going, I was doing everything right. how is this possible? And then when I was able to start reading and able to start looking into things, I would see, or I'd go to this practitioner and he would just talk about, calming the parasympathetic nervous system. And then I would talk to this practitioner about neuroplasticity and this practitioner about food and nutritional deficiencies. And you can go into genetics and neurotransmitters and breathing and all of these different aspects, but everyone just had their specialty. There was no program or practitioner that brought all encompassing and gave it to you in a way that everything would work symbiotically. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Our bodies are whole and everything's supposed to work together in harmony. And I never saw that. And so I saw people come to me. So many people would visit and they would say, hey, I went to this adrenal fatigue specialist and this totally healed me. And I went and did this and this totally healed me. And I would look and now knowing what I know, it's like, well, maybe you had the most deficiency in that area, but you probably needed help in all these areas too. And that's what was amazing about this program was this was the first thing that I saw where it encompassed everything that I'd studied and so much more. And it helped apply it. So many things were applying things wrong. I got worse in so many ways. I had herbalists, come and give me things that just totally destroyed my microbiome and my gut, my digestion. And then I had other doctors prescribe medications that just, anyway, the main point is finding this program allowed me to incorporate all of these powerful aspects of healing that nothing else had. And when you do all of that at once, when you encompass everything, you heal so much faster. And I have friends that have had dysautonomia and POTS for a decade, and they're going, what is going on? How are you doing this? And I've shared things with them and they've tried it. And that's the difference with this program is they're like, oh, I can't do this, or I don't understand this. And I'm going, you need the support. There's no way I could have done this without the support. There are people that went before me, we worked through weeks in different groups, and there were people ahead of me that I would hear them talk. And at week 4, they go, oh my goodness, I had this horrible histamine reaction, or, oh my goodness, I had this really, really depressive week and it was terrible. But then I got over it. And I'd go, wow, that sounds awful. I'm not having that issue. And boom, I hit week 4 and I'm having all of those things. And you need that. And having that support and going through that with other people is something that no one else had. No other practitioner or program offered. And it's the community that helps you not only not feel alone, but it helped me go, this is normal. Whereas normally I would go, holy moly, my feet are on fire and you're itching so bad. This must be bad for me. I'm going to stop it. Right? We just quit. And so instead I went, all right, I'm going to give it a week. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And within 3 to 5 days, it'd be gone. And then I'm healing faster and faster. Right? So that is just something that's completely priceless. Being able to have a community and practitioners working with you to support you and help keep you going was the best part of this. Absolutely. And to give an example, I had this amazing adrenal fatigue specialist, and he's the leading adrenal fatigue specialist in the world. And he charged like $1,200 a phone call. I mean, it was crazy. And he only hit one area. And I kept going, but what about this? And because it wasn't his area, he's like, oh, no, it'll be fine. It's going to heal on its own. This program that hits all of those areas, and it was a full healing. It wasn't just, oh, now I can get out of bed, but I still have insomnia. It's I can get out of bed and I can go to sleep at night. It's everything. This experience is so lonely. It is so lonely because nobody understands, and everybody gives you a million different answers and goes in every direction, and you feel like it's hopeless. You just feel like it's hopeless. And what I want to tell you is you're not alone. Your body was meant to heal. All it needs is the foundation and the building blocks to heal, and you will heal. And I am not someone who says that, eat simply and easily. And I have kids that I teach, and it's really important for me to be honest with them. And I can tell you that you will heal when you give your body the foundation it needs, the building blocks and nutrition. And then you also take away those toxic things, substances, habits that are hurting it. Your body naturally heals. That's what it does. And so believe it. Keep going. The only reason why anybody's even watching this is because they haven't been satisfied with the answers they've gotten from doctors or other healing ideas or gurus or groups. And they're looking for something more because they believe it's possible. And it is possible. We can heal. You can heal. And you're not alone. And so many others have already paved the way and have already done it. And we're here to testify that it's possible. You're not alone. You're going to heal. Um, so I collapsed 3 months after having my seventh baby. And that was the most heartbreaking time of my life. And so at one point, my husband couldn't take care of me. We were so worried about me. My mother had flown out to help take care of me, and she had cancer and she was having surgery a month later. And then my mother-in-law came out to try to help, and she was going through a divorce, and everybody else had their lives and nobody lived near us. And we were just completely alone. And we had to make the heartbreaking decision to send 5 of my daughters to live with family or to live with friends in DC when we were in Missouri at the time. And my daughters were 2 and 3 and 6 and 7 and then 15. And they just cried. They're like, Mom, we don't want to go. Mom, I'd spend every moment with them, being a homeschool, homestead mom and traveling in the military, that was we were always together. And then my 3-month-old baby, I had to give to some people that live 3 hours away. And I didn't see him for almost 2 months because we couldn't take care of them and go to take care of all of my needs. And as I started healing, as I started believing I would heal and then joined this program, within the first week, I was able to read a story to my kids. And then a couple weeks after that, I was able to put them to bed at night. And then because they couldn't even come in, sound and noise, I was so sensitive to everything. And I just couldn't even hold my baby. And soon I was making him food and I was taking care of him. And so my children have seen the power of healing through these natural processes, not just food, but our thoughts and our actions and so much of the limbic work. And so not only have they changed a lot of the things that they do and what we eat and how when we go to bed and maybe our screen time and things like that, but it has just made us all so much happier. My husband does everything that I do. He does all the cold therapy. He eats all the the foods according to the diet. He's so supportive. And even he was the peak of health. He's Cherokee Indian, so just lean and muscle and strong. But he just noticed he had inflammation and all these other joint issues, and it's all gone. And so it's amazing. It just heals in every aspect. And so our family is just happy and healthy, and we're just excited every month. Just keeps getting better and better. What I'd really like to add is I just want to say thank you. Because if anyone does any research into this, they see that the people that are involved in this program all experience what we experienced. And that was so different. I'd gone to so many practitioners who had no clue what I was experiencing. They had no clue what I was going through. They would just throw a pill at me or they'd throw their specialty diagnosis at me. They had no idea. And the gift of having every single person in this program and then the people who wrote it they've laid in that bed, they've suffered, they've done everything that we are experiencing. And we have the gift of being able to benefit from their faith and their courage to try these new things, to research it, and to put their lives on the line to prove that it works and bring that to me and to all of these other people. And that is just the greatest gift. And I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful for you and everyone. And you've literally given me my life back. And that's priceless.